guys, and welcome back to my channel. We are back with another freaking mukbang. Yeah, so let's get started. So I just made these homemade Crunchwrap Supremes. This one's way prettier than this one. This one, I didn't realize how hot the pan was, so I kind of burnt it a little bit, but I scraped off most of the burnt pieces, so that's fine. But anyways, if you want to see how I made those, link will be in the description of that video. And then I have some pico, which is missing cilantro, which is my favorite part of pico, so I'm kind of sad about that. We have some tortilla chips to eat with the pico, some taro bubble milk boba tea, whatever you call it, I don't know. I felt like such an idiot ordering it when I went. I did not know like what to order, how to order it. And then some Texas Pete because I love hot sauce on this. So let's get started. So good. Honestly, y'all, Taco Bell does not have shit on me at all. I'm gonna tell you that much. Add some hot sauce. I'm gonna grab some water real quick. This is great because it tastes like Taco Bell, but I won't have to like go to the bathroom like as if I did go to Taco Bell. So sorry if you can hear my dog roaming around in the background. She knows I just cooked, so she's kind of like walking around and trying to like find anything she can on the ground to eat. So I think this chip is messing with it. So today's story is when I'm refilming, because I did film a mukbang on it and I posted it for like an hour and then I deleted it because I don't know, I hated it. The food I ate in it, immaculate. I'm definitely gonna do the food that I ate in there again. I did those Samyang fire noodles, the nuclear fire noodles, with a Firehouse Subs like foot-long sandwich and some chips. But the thing is, like, within the first like 5 minutes of me telling the story, the sauce that was in my sandwich, I got it in my hair. So you could just see it all in my hair right here for the whole video. If it would have happened like, you know, now I'm all like checking. If it would have happened towards the end of the video, I probably would have been fine, but I don't know, like I edited it and everything, but I just couldn't like keep my eyes off of that. So I took the video down, so I'm just gonna retell the story, but I am gonna redo that food another time in another video. So, today's story, again, is about a lady named Karen. It's a story about a Karen, but this Karen was already being a Karen back in 1994 and 93. Really, her whole life, really. This is the story about Karen Newell and John Newell. So this happened in Florida. Like I think they also have like a Orange County, something like Orange something, but it was like near like Cocoa Beach, Orlando, Florida area, that type of area. So it all starts a night in February of 1994. Karen and John have just spent the whole day at the beach, having fun at Cocoa Beach, and they're driving home. It's late at night now. And Karen goes, John, I think something's wrong with the car. I hear something, like I hear a noise, like you need to pull over. I want you to pull over and check out the car. I think something's wrong with it. Now John was a mechanic. A very successful mechanic. And he's like, I don't hear anything, babe. Like, but you know, us women, we are persistent, consistent. And so he finally pulls over for her. So he gets out of the car. Within seconds of him pulling over and getting out of the car to check the back tires to see if something was wrong with the tires, like his wife was saying, another car pulls off to the side behind their car, gets out, and shoots him 3 times. I think twice to the back of the head, 1 to the chest. I can't remember, but I know for sure he got like shot 3 times. I think 2 times was like a headshot. So Karen's like frantic. She's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. The car drives off. So she's now trying to flag people down. And people aren't really stopping. Finally, this guy stops. But little does he know what he's about to find. It ain't no damsel in distress that has a flat tire on her own. He pulls over and sees that there's a man dead on the ground, bleeding out. So they call 911. The cops show up. Now the cops are questioning her. Everyone's feeling really bad for her too, because it's like this. I mean, she was kind of older, but she was still young. Like, I believe she was in her 40s or something like that, maybe 30s, which is old, but still very young. I feel like when you're like a young teenager, like you think that like 30s and 40s are old. But the older I get, the more I realize it's not really that old. I don't know. They're questioning her, right? They're like, we gotta catch whoever this is. So she goes, it was 3 men, and by the sounds of their voices, they were definitely black. That part made me so mad when I read that part of her statement. It's like, seriously, because obviously Karen's white. I just get so upset whenever, like, victims try to, like, blame it on race. It's just annoying. So she said apparently they got out the car, they did not see her because she hid in the front of the car, in front of, like, the hood, crouched down. And that they told John, give me all your money, give me your wallet. And then the robbery went bad because John refused. So then they shot him and then drove off. And she goes, oh yeah, and this is the license plate number. They had a sticker on the back of their like bumper that said like bad boy or something like that. She had a lot of description, like she knew like the make, the model, the color. Which, yeah, that sounds great, but it's very interesting because not a lot of people, when you're in that frantic of a state or in that crazy of a moment, you don't really think to remember things like that. So the cops are like, at this point, the cops are believing her, you know, because what can you do? So at this time, like, toll booths were like they were operated by actual people. Nowadays toll booths are not, but back then, even when I was growing up, I remember like you would have to stop and you would have to like throw the coins in there. You would talk to the attendant for a second, like a brief like 10 seconds. So they like were like shutting, like they didn't shut down the toll booths, but they were like, hey, like be on the lookout, basically like a bolo. They even checked all the surrounding counties and everything. No reports of this car has gone through any of these toll booths or anything, which is very strange. Because they had also just went through a toll booth and then pulled over, and that's when that happened, like a few minutes or so after they went through that toll booth. The cops start looking into it after the fact. Turns out, Karen and John have only been together for a very, very short period of time. So they met, I think, 1993. Within 2 months, they got married. And then in the past year, over the months, him and her have taken out multiple life insurance policies that all equal up to about $500,000 that she would get if he were to pass. So they just started digging more and more. They questioned her again. Like, so y'all weren't with anyone. No one saw y'all, you know, whatever. She goes, well, we did have a friend of ours that was with us all day at the beach, but then he left in a separate car because he had to meet us, like, you know, on his own too. And they're like, oh, okay, so what's his name? And she's like, oh, Peter Giffen. So I was like, Peter Griffin? But no, Peter Giffen. These are so good. Wow. So, like, okay. So this is where it gets really weird. So Peter Giffen, they were thinking he's handsome. I didn't think he was. I saw his mugshots. I didn't think he was that handsome. He was a young 20-year-old, like, carpenter type dude. Which they found out, so originally she, like, lied. Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay. Let's just backtrack for a minute. So they found out about Peter Giffen. She's like, yeah, he's my assistant because I'm actually doing, like, an acting and, like, modeling gigs and whatnot, and he's just like my personal assistant who helps me with everything. And also, after they were questioning, like, friends of the family too, that's what everyone said too. Turns out she never actually had any of those type of gigs. It was all a lie. He was not her assistant. Peter Giffen has actually never really had a stable job, and is a high school dropout, which is nothing really, like, bad. I mean, you can be a high school dropout and still be productive with your life and make money, so that part doesn't really matter. But he never had a stable job and would just do, like, odd jobs here and there. Was, like, mainly like a carpenter type deal. And then the cops also find out that actually too, Peter is actually living at Karen and John's house. And then they go, so why is he living there? Like, what's the story? Karen has a very interesting story. So according to her, back in November of 1993, she heard a commotion outside. And so she sent her husband, John, outside to check on what it was. A few minutes later, him not coming back inside, she goes outside to find him almost dead in their backyard. They call the cops. They file a report. According to John, he went outside and there was these guys. They beat him with a bat. And I think at that time they did take his wallet. No. Because at this time too, I don't think Karen knows that the cops know that she's not really, like, working, like, a real job, you know? So she's like, yeah, so then after, like, the whole, like, almost home invasion, home intrusion, whatever, I told John that, you know, since Peter is my assistant and he's been helping out so much, maybe we should have him just move in with us so we have extra security, you know, another man in the house, just in case, like, something happens again. And John said yes. Poor John, he's such a good guy. He's so nice, like, poor thing. So the cops are starting to get a little suspicious. They're like, okay. So he was nearly murdered almost 3 to 4 months ago. And now 3 to 4 months later, he is fatally shot. Interesting. And also too, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but remember how she said that they asked for his wallet? When they were searching the crime scene of him where he was shot, his wallet was still on him. If it was really a robbery, they would either took the wallet like they were asking, like she claims that they asked for, or that they also would have probably taken the car, honestly. And, like, Also, too, the cops were like, how did they not see you? And she's like, oh, it's just really good at hiding. I don't know. I don't know. So they're like really trying to investigate this because like, this is just so weird. So I started digging a little bit more. They talked to John's coworkers. And John's coworkers are like, you know, it's really weird because that Peter guy, like they're all friends and they all hang out, like the three, like John, Karen, and Peter. But they were like, it's really weird though because like she'll come to the shop to pick up like his check, like John's check to go cash it, and Peter will be in the car with her. Like they like acted like a couple, but we didn't want to break it to John. Like he's just such a good guy, and we don't think he realized, you know, like what was going on. Also too, at the crime scene too, when it all happened, Karen was hysterical, going, I'm pregnant with his baby, oh my god. So they took her to the hospital, right? And at the hospital, they ran a pregnancy test just to make sure she was okay and all that, and just to make sure she really was pregnant. And the results came back negative, so she lied about being pregnant also. T. Kind of looking good for her. And then they start questioning Karen's exes. Not just ex-boyfriends, but ex-husbands. Karen has been married twice before John. So they talked to her most recent ex. I can't remember his name. I want to say it's like Patrick or something, but I don't think it is. But anyways, they questioned him and he's like, you know, it's really weird. So back in November, when she had that home invasion, Karen came to me, because, you know, we're sleeping together, actually. Yeah, so yeah, we're romantically involved still, but, you know, we're not together, but we're still, like, doing the thing. So the cops are like, oh, that's interesting, okay. She asked to borrow my .22 caliber gun, and I said yes because that's like, it was like right after the home invasion or like the attempted robbery happened. And so I was like, okay, sure, you know. Didn't think much of it. He goes, but once I saw the news and saw what happened to John, I texted her and was like, hey, like, have my gun back, like I need it, you know? And she tried to like gaslight me and say that I was crazy and that she doesn't know what what I'm talking about, and that I never gave her a gun and that she doesn't have a gun. So I never got my gun back. So then they do testing, and guess what gun John was shot by? A .22 caliber gun. The same exact one that she had borrowed from her ex-husband that her almost gave up another thing. So they're like, okay, very interesting. So then they gather more evidence. It's not looking too good for Karen. They bring Peter in. I think he was just too weak, like just too weak-minded to actually like get through this all. So I believe it's him that confesses initially. But he's like, yeah, like, I admit it, like, I was one of those guys that, beat him up back in November because she ordered me to, like, beat him till he was dead. But he, like, fought back, and he was actually strong. So we weren't able to, like, beat him to death. And then, on the night of February, she gave me this gun, and I just, like, followed them from the beach. And then when they pulled over, I pulled over, got out, and shot him, and then just drove off. And so Karen's like, he's lying, he's the mastermind, like, I had nothing to do with this, like, he's crazy. So they're like fighting over who did it, really. Trial happens. Karen definitely got what she deserved. I was trying to find information, but I couldn't really find it. But the trial happened in like 1995, I think. And during the trial, she still tried to like maintain her innocence and was like, he's the mastermind, like I had nothing to do with this, like, and they're like, no, you want it for insurance money because you were like lazy and just wanted to like not have to work again and like just live off of someone else's money. She was like, no, I don't want the insurance money, I don't need that, you know, whatever. I mean, it's $500,000, like, come on, like, obviously, that's what you were after, you know. So, in trial, she got sentenced to 26 years, I believe. So that's what I'm saying, like, it was in 95, I'm 25. So it means she's either released this year or next year. I think it's without the possibility of parole, which means that she has to, like, do her whole sentence, right? She should be out, like, now, I think. But she'll probably be older, because she was, like, in her 40s, I think, so she's probably, like, 65, maybe 70 now. Peter, he got, I believe, 24 years, which she was like so upset about. She was like, he deserves more like time, this is unfair, because he like ended up being like he like cooperated and did like a plea deal with them, because I think his was supposed to be like higher, because I think she was charged with like first-degree murder and then like attempted first-degree murder for like the November incident, and he was charged with both, but instead of his being first-degree, I think he ended up just being charged second-degree. So I think he's out now, but I don't know, I couldn't really find any information on it, so I don't know. To my knowledge, she never got any of the insurance money, because John's like family was like, she got what she deserved, like, and I hope she doesn't get any of that insurance money, because I think this interview was like right when the trial was happening, and I think during the trial was happening, she was still trying to like file and get it real quick before it was taken away from her. But yeah, guys, that is the story of Karen and John and Noel, and of me telling it for the second time, since the first video was kind of ruined because I had that sauce in my hair, and I'm gonna scream if I have sauce in my hair this time, or like stuff on my face, whatever. But I'm gonna go and finish this off camera real quick and eat some more chips and pico, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.